evening. My name is Dylan Rudiger. I'm with Columbia College University in Columbia, Missouri. And I'm here to speak to you tonight about the different types of shift hours for county employees working within a county jail. The three different types are the 8-hour shift, the 10-hour shift, and the 12-hour shift. And I hope tonight to persuade you guys to agree with me that the 12-hour shift is the best shift to work. Working in the jail is a stressful job. It's not easy on any of the officers that work in there, much as any other law enforcement job. There's high demands for different physical activities as well as medical issues that can cause that stressful position. The shift that you work, or the hours that you work, can determine the difference between good morale within the department, work performances, and things of that nature. Again, tonight we're going to talk about the three different shifts, the 8-hour shift, the 10-hour shift, and the 12-hour shift. We'll begin by talking about the 8-hour shift. We're going to switch over to the 12-hour shift, which is the one that I believe is the best one to work while in the jail. And then we'll come back to the 10-hour shift after that. The first one is the 8-hour shift. Typically, most departments who work on an 8-hour shift work 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and 11 to 7. Prior to 2017, the Cole County Jail worked an 8-hour shift. As of 2017, they went to a 12-hour shift. I spoke to Lieutenant Wortmeyer about the differences between the two, and he said the 8-hour shift wasn't as effective or efficient as the 12-hour shift. He said that the officer's morale was down in the jail, and the performance was also lacking. Also with that, the department worked on a minimum staffing, so they didn't have enough officers to be proactive. They only had enough officers to make the jail run. As of 2017, they switched over to a 12-hour shift, also known as the Pittman schedule. If we look at the Missouri Police Chiefs Association Command College book here, this is an outline of the 12-hour Pittman schedule. How it works is essentially the officers work, they'll be off 2 days, they'll work 2 days, they'll be off 3 days, they'll be on 2 days, they'll be off another 2 days, and then they work 3 days. So your schedule varies back and forth, and every other week you know exactly what you're working. Also, according to this book here, it is known as a locked schedule, which basically means that you know what it's going to be every week. Your days aren't going to change as the months go by. Most departments work at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then at 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. But some departments vary on their start times, so it could be 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. I spoke with Jailer Kyle Rennick, who works in the Cole County Jail, who stated that he much prefers to work a 12-hour shift than an 8-hour shift. His reason being is that he works with the same people every day, so he knows his team really well. He said that the extra 4 hours on top of the 8 hours that he was used to working really isn't that much when you are proactive in the jail. He likes the extra people to be able to be in the jail, and he likes knowing the days that he's going to have off. So if he has a family event that he needs to schedule, he knows which weekends he's going to have off to be able to do that. Also with the Pittman schedule, you only work half a year. You don't have to over-exaggerate yourself and working too much in 1 year. You're only working half the days of a total year. To my knowledge, all the jails in the immediate area, the Boone County Jail, the Callaway County Jail, and the Cole County Jail, all work on the Pittman schedule. Going to the 10-hour shift. Again, no jails in this area that I know of work on a 10-hour shift. There are some downfalls to the 10-hour shift. Probably the biggest one as far as administration side goes is it requires more officers to be employed. The reason being is the shift actually overlaps each other, and to make it function you have to have more officers to cover more time. According to the Missouri Police Chiefs Association Command College book, if we flip the page from the Pittman schedule here, as highlighted in number 12, the most common is the on 5, off 3, on 4, off 4. This means that the officers will work 5 days in a row and be off 3 days, and then they'll work 4 days in a row and be off 4 days. I looked up on the shift schedule design website, and it stated that the number of days off are more than an 8-hour shift, but less than a 12-hour shift, which would make sense. If I remember correctly, the number of days off for the 10-hour shift is approximately 140 days in a year. Again, with the Pittman schedule, you're actually going to get 180 days off that half a year. Also, according to the shift schedule design website, a 10-hour shift doesn't always doesn't always meet the expectations of the officer and what they expect. This may be because they can't get as much work done as they thought they may be able to, or it may be too long for them and they're ready to go home before that 10 hours is up. The only agency that I know of in the area that uses a 10-hour shift right now is the Boone County Sheriff's Office for their road division and the Jefferson City Police Department. Again, all of the shifts have pros and cons, but I believe that the Pittman schedule actually has the best pros and the least amount of cons to it while working in the county jail. Again, being in the jail isn't an easy job, and it is very stressful for the officers involved in the jail. It is important for those officers to be able to distinguish their stress levels by being outside of the work area. And the only way to be able to be outside of that work area and be able to alleviate that stress is to have a maximum amount of days off as possible. With the 8-hour shift, you're not going to get that. With the 10-hour shift, you're going to get a decent amount of days off, but with the Pittman schedule, you're going to get the most days off. This will allow them to have the most time with their family, as well as relax and get away from the job before having to come back. Any questions?